Hello and welcome to the Walk-Up Experience demo in the Orlando release. This demo is going to begin with the employee persona starting at online check-in, where a user can, from their desktop or mobile device, check in to a walk-up experience. Here, geolocation automatically defaulted them to the San Diego Tech Lounge on the widget, and they'll be able to click and easily jump to the online check-in page on the service portal. From this page, they can easily understand what the current queue length is, who currently is waiting in line or who has an appointment, and importantly, if they haven't been to this walk-up location yet, they'll be able to see an image of where they're going, a description of where that tech lounge is located, as well as a comprehensive hours of operation. There's also an opportunity to schedule an appointment, either directly for the user, or you could configure to allow them to schedule that appointment for someone else. And they'll be able to select a reason for visit, as well as an available time from a calendaring slot of when they'd like to be seen at that walk-up experience. Now, these available slots are predefined, as we'll see later in the demo, based on a definition. Here, the user is going to select laptop refresh as the reason for visit, and they're going to go ahead and check in, and they can see that they're position 2 in line. Their name will be highlighted also down below in the queue for easy reference on where they currently are in line. Now, below, since they're at a desktop interface, they'll also be able to utilize a contextual search for results. Now, there's also native mobile capabilities as well, if a web view is not desired. The demo begins in the Now Mobile native application. In the Services tab, you'll find on the lower right a new quick icon for a quick action to visit a tech lounge. Once selected, there's a geo-sorted list of the available tech lounges, sorted with the nearest location at the top. When we select that location, we can see an image of where the location is, the name, as well as the description of the location that has a geo map marker I can click to get walking directions. I can also understand the schedule by reading the name. Now, there's a join queue button available here when I'm not yet registered or checked in to Tech Lounge. So when I press the join queue button, it's going to let me select a reason for visit, similar if I was on a desktop interface with online check-in. In this case, I selected I need something. I would also be able to enter additional comments if desired, but I'm just going to go ahead here and check in, and we can see I get a confirmation telling me I'm number 1 in the queue, and had I been at a higher number, I also would have understood what my current queue position is displayed there at the bottom of that page. We'll also notice that the Leave Queue button is now available as opposed to the Join Queue because I am already checked in. When we head it back to the main Services tab, we're going to be able to see a card that tells me my Tech Lounge visits, and it'll show me that this is my current check-in and my current position at the San Diego Lounge. I can click that card to head back to the previous view of that location, or I can click back on the quick action to get the available action to leave the queue in case I no longer need to be seen at a walk-up experience. When I tap that, it's going to give me a confirmation modal, and it will remove me from the queue. And that's the quick check-in experience here on Now Mobile. Now let's look at the employee on-site interfaces, the actual devices and UI that they see when they're physically there at that walk-up experience. There's a queue, a check-in, and a survey. Let's take a look at the queue display first. This display is meant to be on a large TV. It could be horizontal or vertically aligned, and it will show who's currently being served, the agents currently serving them, as well as who's up next, whether it's an appointment or a standard walk-in, a first in, first out. Now, the logo can, of course, be configured, so it could be branded for your walk-up experience branding. We also have a tablet optimized interface available. This tablet allows a user to check in on site with a touch screen. They can select their name, select a reason for visit, or check in. I will also highlight that there is a badge scanning integration available. If you don't want to use the tablet, or in addition to the tablet, you can offer a scan of a badge to check a user in. Once checked in, the user again receives a nice confirmation telling them also when they will be notified when they are up next, meaning if they need to go somewhere like the cafeteria, they'll be receiving a notification telling them to head back to the lounge shortly. We also support unregistered users through simple first name, last name, email entry. Once the engagement is complete, there's also a on-site survey available, similar to what you find in the consumer world, where the employees can tap a simple one-question survey and have those results tracked for a high-level sentiment around how a location is doing. An email survey with lower-level details and questions will also be sent to the employees engaging in a walk-up. Now, let's take a look at the agent workspace, what the technicians do to actually work these walk-ups as they come in. In the agent workspace, employees will be able to say they're available in their inbox, and work can be pushed to their inbox. Alternatively, they can also pull from a list view of all the walk-up interactions, which is the record type that's generated when a user checks in. Here, a user can easily filter down to just the queues they're working from. They can save those as well for quick access in the future. And then as they begin taking the work first in, first out from the top of the list down, they'll be able to either choose standard people, or they can cherry pick from that list if a VIP user is identified as coming in. Now here, this interaction record, as mentioned, is like a staging record. As they talk to the user in person, they can understand what is it that they're working on with that user. Is it an incident? Is it a request? Do they need a stock room, a consumable to be consumed? So they could make those decisions here. Since it uses advanced work assignment as well, we do have an on-hold feature, because you can say a capacity at a walk-up is 1, but for long-running requests, an agent can put a record on hold and work on an additional user's interaction. There's also, of course, abandon and close options, and those options are available for if a user does not show up and when the engagement is complete. In this case, we decided to create a new incident, and all the data from the interaction will carry over. But here with the agent workspace, you can take advantage of features like Agent Assist to proactively try to help you as a technician identify either catalog items, knowledge articles, or similar resolved incidents that may be out there. Once the incident is created or the task is complete, the technician can easily come in and close that given interaction record. Agent Workspace does allow for the parent-child tabbing, so it's very easy to work on multiple items in parallel. From this list view, the technicians can also look at all the appointments that are upcoming to understand appointments that are coming up later in the day. They can also access standard modules such as the walk-ups that they're currently assigned. Let's take a look at how all this was configured. So from an admin perspective, they can not only edit the core data, but managers will be able to look at a dashboard of how these walk-ups are performing. They can look at both utilization and operational information. This means the number of walk-ups that are happening, the CSAT that users are experiencing at those walk-ups, when they are actually occurring by day of week and hour of day, as well as the average service time by location and the average wait time. And that'll help organizations understand what they should do with staffing and how the service delivery is that their organization is providing. Let's take a look at how the walk-up actually was set up, however. The core record is something called a walk-up location record. This record is meant to be easily edited through simple data inputs. From this record, you create one walk-up location queue record for each unique tech lounge or walk-up location. These records, as we click into them, will contain the data and configuration around the branding, around the hours of operation, around the description and location image, as well as the assigned assignment group. And we could see here that we could change these details simply from the record. And they use standard ServiceNow elements such as an appointment booking schedule, such as a regular calendar schedule, and so on. You can also do things like enable an away state as a technician in case you need to run off and it's not technically closed per the hours of operation. So there's some flexibility in running the actual walk-up experience. There's a lot of configurability as well, so you can decide when to send a user a position notification, i.e. when should they be notified to head to the lounge. There's a time frame for last check-in, which prevents check-ins with this buffer in mind. It's great to stop, you close at 5 and 5 o'clock people come in. You could decide appointment delegation. You could decide for anonymity, the name configuration that's shown on your displays, the lead time required for appointment routing, as well as the hold time prior to the appointment. We can show estimated wait time on the check-in interfaces if we want to, and that's a calculation you can change if you'd like. There's also audio playback we just saw to play a sound from the TV interface of the queue when someone checks in. You also have configurability over the away messages. You have configurability over if you're closed, what phone number to show, or what record producer for online interfaces to show, as well as contextual search. You can also enable or disable specific pieces like the avatars, unregistered user check-in, and so on, and add branding simply with image uploads. So it really was built with all the core configurations in mind to be done via these simple lists and forms for the data configuration. Same goes for reason for visit. It's a simple related list. Now the routing engine does use advanced work assignment, so you could still set your standard assignment group here in the related list. This concludes the walk-up experience demo.